I'm headed straight for the castle. They wanna make me their queen.
Hi beautiful people, welcome to another vlog. It's not a vlog, welcome to another hair video. Yeah, I think the last hair video was when I did those twists. And yeah, today I am going to try and do braids. I saw this really cool video. That's the thing with late night scrolling, right? You see these cool videos and you go like, hey, I can do that, I think I can do that. So I saw this video of how this woman was like braiding her hair, and I was like, I've never tried that before. That looks interesting. So I want to try that and see if I can get braids. I kept my twists, those ones, for like 2 weeks, but then they came undone. I think it's also because my hair is still treated. Like it is starting to get back its naturalness, like at the bottom, but it's still really silky. So like my twists unraveled, and then I didn't have that much hair, so some of them were big, some of them were small, and okay, yeah, there was just a lot of going on with those twists. So I'm gonna do braids. I'm not sure how I feel about doing long hair. I haven't done long braids in a long time, so this will be interesting. So let's braid.
And I'm getting mighty tired of your trifling ways and of listening to that jackass braid.
So, in this video, I wanted us to kind of dive into the topic on self-confidence. It's something that I've been experiencing, thinking about the last couple of weeks, maybe let me also just say months. Yeah, and it's something that I thought, you know what, let's dive into it. Let's discuss it. So I hope you will humor me. Yeah, to begin with, I want to start with a quote that says, and I do not know who this quote is from. I'm so sorry that I haven't cited my sources, but just allow it. So the quote says, self-confidence isn't about having it all figured out. It's about learning to trust yourself, even when everything feels uncertain. And for a woman who just turned 30, sometimes I feel like, I'm not where I should be. And I might not be alone in that feeling. And, I feel like I'm stuck in terms of career, and I wouldn't say I'm stuck in my relationship, but like things have not where I thought I would be by now. Like I don't feel like that's where I am. Like I feel stuck sometimes. So yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about this whole idea of like feeling as if you're behind when you're not behind. You're actually just in the process of becoming who you are meant to be. So let's start here. Let's start by talking about the pressure, and let's release it, because we are put into these pressure situations of where we think we are behind, but then there is no deadline to success. Like it's not an assignment and we have to hand in. Like I know a lot of us were like, when we were growing up, I know I was like this when I was growing up. I was telling myself, oh Tenji, by 24 you would have been successful, you would have a job. By 25 you'd be married, da da da, you'd have kids and a house, and da 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 da. But the funniness of life, or the structure of life, is it doesn't come with a script. Like literally, it's just you grow at your own pace, and that's the power in it. We compare a lot because we are human beings and we see things before we actually, I don't know how I can say it, like sight is like the first instinct. Like you see stuff and before you actually think it through, you're like, oh, I'm not there where I need to be, when initially it's your process is coming along well. Like you are in your power. It's just not the way you see it to be or you saw it to be. But in hindsight, the importance of hindsight, in hindsight or in foresight, we can't have foresight yet, but like in hindsight, like later you'll be like, so that was working in my favor. And I get these hindsight moments a lot of like, oh, I thought I wasn't getting there, but look at me now, I'm like there. I'm like there. So yeah, release that pressure. There is no deadline to success. Just be in your power, and that is grow at your own pace. Just keep following your own life pace. That's just how it goes. Okay, moving on. Now that we've talked about there being no deadline to success and there is no script to, our lives and all of that, let's talk about how do we define success, and then let's redefine it, because before, as I mentioned, for me, I'm guessing it's also in how I grew up. I was taught, you're gonna grow up, get an education, get a job, get a house, a car, a wife and kids, the whole shebang. But then when you get to this point of where you're questioning everything of like, oh, I should have been here by now, but I'm not. So what does success look like? So let's redefine that. And success is not about ticking all the boxes. It's not about, building a life. It's about building a life that actually feels right. The other day I was like admiring myself. I was like, I've actually been homemaking without realizing that I'm homemaking. Like, where I live is actually my home. I have made it in such a way that it's my home, and I love that for me.
Hi guys, today I'm going to show you how to curl your hair using thread or string. You can use whatever you want. This is for demonstrative purposes only. Usually I'm using weave thread, but it's too dark for this tutorial. And I'm also using some mousse. Lotta Body is my favorite brand. It's cheap and it gets the job done. So starting with your thread, you're going to have a little bit hanging off on the end, and you're going to grab your hair at the base. Use your thumb to secure everything in place. Place your thread on, anchor with your thumb, wrap around at least 5 times. Maybe fewer, it depends on how good your hair is. My hair requires 5 times. After the 5th wrap, tighten just a little bit, not too much. You don't want to lose your hair. And then make sure it's nice and secure. Grab your thumb to help guide you going down and wrap. Now, with each wrap, the gap in between determines how well you will stretch your hair or how refined it's going to look at the end. So what I'm going to show you guys now is a really tight gap. And that's how we traditionally do it. This is for more long-term styles, not short-term like I'm going to show you right now. My preferred gap is under a centimeter at any given time. That gives me the stretch that I need, and I can style my hair.
As I was saying about redefining success, and thinking that you're not ticking all the boxes you're supposed to be ticking, is asking yourself, what do I really want? And here you really have to go like deep dive into yourself of not what Instagram wants, not what people on TikTok want, but not what my friends want, not what my family wants, but what do I want? And this will help you redefine your vision of success. These days I like to think of things in terms of like tasks. I still do my to-do lists, but I just keep telling myself like, oh, this and this, what am I doing now? What am I doing next? Like I go from it like from one point to another. And that's really helpful because it has helped me define what is important, what do I need to focus on, and how do I work towards that. And then I build these small steps to get me there. Another point, the power of starting over. I have made a video about this, so I won't dwell on it much. But it's very important for you to pivot if you feel like your ducks are not aligning, like the steps are not stepping. Pivot, change direction, or even better, start over. You're not rebuilding something that fell apart to something that is not working. No, you're rebuilding from experience. You're rebuilding from what you've learned, and not from a point of failure. No, but you're brave enough to do a 360 and go like, whoa, let me start over, let me start again. I really struggled with this one, especially when I had to start school, because Before COVID happened, the plans were, oh yeah, I was gonna work a little bit and then go take my master's. And all the lines, as I said, all the dots were already dotting, like everything was almost already set. And then COVID happened. And then everything changed for me specifically. I mean, everything changed for everybody, but like all of those plans, they fell off. And I literally had to do a 360. And because I was already living in a different country, I was like, okay, then I might as well just study over here. And I tried that, and I tried and I did my thing, but my thing wasn't just aligning, and I had to do a whole 360 of where the only thing I could do was take a bachelor again. And I struggled with that for the last 2 years, I think. Now in hindsight, as I talked about earlier about having that hindsight, is now when I'm like, okay. Things have been, things needed to happen this way for me to be strong enough to get to what I deserve. The last point I want to talk about is you need to honor your journey. I emphasize this about celebrating the small wins. Don't pass up on celebrating the small wins, because look how far you've come, the storms that you've weathered, and the boundaries that you've set, how much you've built up your character, your attitude. That's confidence in itself. The lessons you've had to learn the hard way. Oh my goodness, the stories I could tell. But all these things count. All these things matter. The growth may not be flashy. The growth might not be, I work where, who, when, with who. But that growth is real, and that growth is you. That is your self-confidence. That is your power. That's what I wanted to share.
I don't know how to. Okay, so this is the hair. I'm done. It's now like, I think it's almost 4 a.m. in the morning. I'm done, so I'll show you this hair properly tomorrow when I style it. But these were the curls. That's how they came out. I'm not that happy, but then I also understand I'm tired and I just want it to be done. I wanted more defined curls, but then I was using the thread method, so yeah, they're a little bit uneven, but I will live with it. Yeah, I will live with it. Like, I'm tired, so I'll show the hair properly how it came out. I didn't end up doing like the whole video thingy, like how she was braiding, because it wasn't working. And I have learned now with this whole hair thing, like when I tried once and it doesn't work, I don't even waste time, because this takes a lot of time. As I said, I started like around, what was that, 5, 6. I mean, I did take a break to eat dinner and just take a break, but then this is like 4 a.m. in the morning, so yeah. But otherwise, this is how the hair came out. So this is my hair, how it came out with like the curls. I'm just not sure how to like style it, because I kind of like did it a little bit too tight, so the scalp hurts. And I haven't done my braids this tight in a while, so I'm like, what did I do wrong this time? Anyway, so yeah, this is the hair. How do you think I did? And I also haven't had this much hair in a long time, like bulky hair. So this is going to be interesting, because when I dress up to go out, like I need to wear like my winter stuff and stuff, so I want to see if my hat will fit, or I have to use them. Anyway, this is the hair. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, hope it inspires you to do your own hair one time. Like, it goes okay sometimes. Like, sometimes you get it right and sometimes you don't.